Are you ready to get from point A to point B in your professional and even your personal life? With his proven 99-day performance accelerator process, this man's no-nonsense approach gets you focused on your real priorities and take the essential actions necessary to your success. International speaker and author of the book, Change Your Life 20 Seconds at a Time. He has coached salespeople and entrepreneurs around the world to achieve tremendous breakthroughs by overcoming obstacles and costly limiting beliefs. Please welcome the man passionate and relentless about you achieving your success, the master of accountability, Mr. Denny Maheux.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Focus180 Podcast. And today we're lucky. We're meeting the one and only Karen Eastman of Eastman Executive Business Coaching. Today, Karen will talk about how to perform a business reality check and explain what are the necessary steps to achieve success in your professional life. Karen, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing extraordinary, Denny. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
I know, that's really cool, man. I'm really happy that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about something that most, especially young entrepreneur or people who just get new in business that we don't do. They don't take the time to do the reality check. So I'm glad you're here. First of all, thank you very much for spending your time with us. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. We're going to go with an easy question for you right from the start. I ask most people that, do you mind to share something that you do, that you're doing now, or you did in the past that not too many people knows about you?
So I am done with it, but I was a travel agent for 35 years, and I was B.B. King's travel agent all 35 years. If you remember the great B.B. King, the blues player, I got to be his travel agent for all of my travel agent career until he retired in 2014.
Very cool. Do you mind to share what did you do? I know you did that with him. Did you do anything else like work related or business related before you start the business you're on today?
So I have been associated with LegalShield for the last 11 years. It's a wonderful asset to a business, wonderful asset to have access to legal advice and consultation. But I felt very limited on what I could do. I could basically sell somebody or set somebody up with a legal plan, but then I don't do fulfillment. So I became a coach because I know that there's a lot more that I can do from my own experience as an entrepreneur to help business owners.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. Hey, let's talk about your business right now. I know you're a business coach, right? So tell us about your company. How do you get started? All that beautiful stuff.
So, well, like I said, I started with LegalShield and I realized that I was very limited on what I could do for somebody. And now I'm able to really help them build their financial groundwork, the framework of their business, which I find a lot of business owners don't do. So I'm able to help walk them through that. We find out, we build other sources of income for them so that if there is a situation like we've just gone through for the past 2 years with this pandemic, they're already set.
Very good. So I know probably the answer to this question. It's not really complicated, but why do you do what you do? Why did you decide to do this? I know I won't answer, but I think I know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Denny, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My mom and dad owned a trucking company, a travel agency, and a butcher shop. And I watched them struggle because they didn't have resources back then. There's so much more available now, but now there's so much information that people don't know what to do with it all. So I really realized at that point that there needs to be kind of a one-stop shop. How do I do this? Who do I go to? Who do I talk to? And with my experience, I think that's a great asset for a business owner to be able to help as many business owners as I possibly can.
I agree. And what's the biggest challenge you think that business owners have today, pandemic or not?
I'm going to back up to the financial framework. A lot of business owners don't pay themselves to begin with, and that's a mistake. I think people need to learn how to set the business up for success. I help walk them through that. It was great for me. My husband and I were a sieve. We didn't know how to really set up our own financial framework on a personal level. And to be honest with you, once I learned this system, it was mind-blowing to me. Everything fell into place. It works. It's a system. And I have seen success with the companies that I've worked with and the business owners that I've worked with. It's life-changing.
Good. And so I want to ask you this, why so many people fail? Because when I look at the news or I do any type of research, we got, they say, I don't know, like 85% of the small business fail within the last 3 years. Is it only with the, like you talk about financial? Is there other reason? What do you see out there?
So Denny, I don't know if you noticed this, but it really kind of shocked me. When the pandemic first happened, within the first 30 days, businesses were closing for good. And I couldn't understand that at first. Like, why are they already closing? It's only been 30 days. And it's because they were already on the precipice of the cliff at that point. Mm-hmm. It didn't take very much to push them over the cliff because they hadn't prepared. By having the financial framework in place and by having other streams of income, not just having somebody walk in the door and buying your product, but maybe you can sell it online, or maybe you can add some things. And that's exactly what we look at, is what things can you do to, if it's a situation where, let's just say there was an earthquake or somebody drove their truck through your shop, how are you going to sustain? Seriously, mm-hmm. Right? Or there's a flood or there's a fire in the building and you don't have access to your items. How can you sustain at that point? And that's how I work with business owners, to try and make sure that they have other streams of income so that they don't fall off the cliff if there's some sort of an economic catastrophe, basically. That's what we experienced.
Yeah, it makes sense. And do you work with people who, let's say I want to start a business and I don't know much about it, would you coach them, first of all?
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely.
And my next question would be, how would you do that? Is there a process that you follow? Let's say, my question is this: I want to start a business. I don't know how. How do I do this? I don't know. Can you?
My motto is, you do what you do best. We're here to help you with the rest. So if you make aprons, I want you to make the best aprons you can make. And you need to surround yourself with the experts in the things that they're good at. You need a good tax person. You need a good CPA. You need a good marketer, all those kind of things. So what I do is I have a whole system that I work with. We work on, if they're going to get an LLC, we make sure that they're protected, that their business first and foremost is protected from any kind of lawsuits or anything like that. So we help set them up with an LLC, mm-hmm. and then we set up little by little, we put everything together. If it's a restaurant, for example, then we've got somebody that can help them get their liquor license, help them get their other licensing. We just go through the process by little, make sure that they're on bricks instead of sand. Does that make sense?
Nice. And this is one of the things when I started mine, I was like, oh my God, LLC, how do I get that? I don't even know how many licenses I need. I don't know that thing. Business account, I don't know. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. So that's why we need you to get us to get there. I got another question though. Let's say I'm working with a direct marketing company. I'm working with an MLM or something, and I don't know if let's say they go out of business. How do I protect myself?
So basically what happens in those kind of environments is that people feel very limited, that they can't have their own website because the corporate rules, as if when I was in LegalShield, I can't say LegalShield in an article. If I was on this radio show, things like that, you can't promote your business that way. Mm-hmm. So what they don't realize is you can have your own website. You can promote things in a different way. You can't use the company name, but you can also offer other things to promote your business, so that if that business does go out of business, you still have a foundation.
Nice. In your opinion right now, what's the best investment a business owner should do to make sure they're successful in their business? Early first quarter 2022, you get some new people listening right now, but they don't know this new in business, or they're suffering a little bit. What do you think the best investment they could do from today to get better at what they do?
This is going to sound like blue sky, Denny, but I'm going to tell you, coaching, get a good business coach and personal development every day. If you read 10 pages of a good, and you know this as well as I do, a good personal development book every day. At the end of a year, you've read 3,650 pages. You have to be in a different place. You're not the same person you were a year ago.
Exactly. At the beginning, we talk a business reality check. Do you want to explain to me what's that mean? And for most people who was listening?
Yes. Business reality check, I find with business owners, let's just say a business owner that's been in business for a long time. One of the most common statements that they make is, well, this is how I've always done it. We all know that the dynamic of business has changed drastically over the past 2 years. So you really need to be open to doing business in a different way. And so you need to be looking at cutting edge marketing. You need to be looking at what is your product. Is it something that's people want? Is there a way that you can repackage it so that it's relevant today? And that's what I mean by that.
I like it. I like it a lot. And before we go to our success question that I ask everybody, anything else you want to talk or we should mention about business check or how to be successful?
Like I say, just really you have to invest in your business.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they really cut back on things and they don't want to pay money for networking or they don't want to pay money to advertise. But honestly, it does take money to make money. You're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, and it will have rewards. So you do need to consider that in your business plan is what will you invest? How much of a budget? Literally have to set a budget for marketing, a budget for strategy, a budget for networking, those types of things. You do have to invest.
And I'm so happy you mentioned that because a lot of people, same when you want to reach your goal, right? I always say you need to invest time, money, energy, make a plan, ask the right question. We need to ask the right question. How much money am I willing to spend on that business? That's a good question. How much hours in a day I'm going to do? But you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's huge. Thank you for mentioning it again.
I want to add that people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college. And then they skimp on investing in their business. So for those who haven't either are starting a business that has nothing to do with what they learned in college, or maybe it does, the investment is just as important as the college education.
Absolutely. Very, very cool. All right, let's go with my success question. You ready? This is so hard. I don't know.
Let's try it.
In your opinion, name 3 characteristics or human traits that is necessary to be successful in business in 2022. I'm looking for 3 words. 3 words.
That's pretty easy, Denny. Number 1, without a doubt, is passion. I mean, that's what's going to get you up in the morning. Number 2, I would say, is being self-motivated. If you own your own business, you've got to be self-motivated.
Yeah.
And number 3, I think is being a servant leader.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, servant leader, because I don't hit that. And by the way, I'm 100%. The more people you serve, the more successful you should become. That's one of the laws, right? Anyway, but let's talk about that. Servant leader. How do we become a better servant, and why should we become a servant leader?
Yes. So one of the things I notice in a networking group, for example, is that people go into a networking group with the attitude of, let me see who I can sell my product to. Mm-hmm. Really, the way that I think about it, whenever I meet people, and it doesn't have to be in a networking environment, it can be in anything that pertains to business. Anytime I meet a business owner or somebody that has a need, I'm thinking about who can I connect them with? How can I serve them? Not how can I get them to sign up for coaching? They might not need what I have, but is there something that they do have a need for? Oh, you're looking for an office. I've got a real estate agent that handles commercial real estate, or I've got somebody, a plumber, if you need a plumber. The more that you give in that environment, the person you've built that know, like, and trust feeling with them, because I'm not asking for anything. I don't go into a networking meeting anticipating any of those people in the room need coaching or want to use me as their coach.
Yeah.
But when they know, like, and trust that I'm capable and that I'm a giver, they're certainly going to be willing to guide somebody my way.
Absolutely. Bill Walsh says money's on the list. You know, the bigger there's a list, the more money you can make. But I want to say money's on the relationship. It's no
Yeah,
point to have a big list if you don't do anything with it. So
that's right.
not selling too early. Absolutely. 100% agreed. We should work together. We match.
We do.
Yeah, we do. So let's talk about something in the past. I mean, it's
You have better hair than I do.
Say what?
You have better hair than I do.
I have better hair? Yeah, I need a haircut.
It's easier to take care of for sure.
So let's talk about something a little bit tougher maybe for you to answer, but something that happened in the past, maybe you made a mistake or maybe you learned something, and you, for the people who want to listen, you would tell them, do not do this. It costs me money, time, and energy. So do you have something like a lesson you've learned?
Oh, yes. Yes, I definitely do. I'm going to recommend to never, as comfortable and happy and joyful as it might seem, do not ever work with family or close friends.
Wow.
It's my son, for example, is in the process of wanting to buy a house with his best friend, and I'm trying to really coax him, don't do it, because money definitely changes relationships. Whether it's your husband, I mean, husband and wife often go into businesses together, but businesses, I've seen so many marriages that fell apart because the business fell apart, or disagreements or things like that. So even in a relationship like that, you can certainly support each other, but your best friend or a family member, especially, those relationships are, to me, worth more than the money that is going to come from it. So I did have a situation that didn't turn out very well, and it's heartbreaking to me.
Okay.
It's really heartbreaking. I would have rather just done it a different way.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Greatly appreciated. I got another, maybe not so good, not so hard, but what's the best way to deal with a stressful situation? When you start a new business, your stress level goes up, right? You got so many hats.
Sure.
So in your opinion, what's the best way to deal with when you're stressed or stressful? What do we do?
Again, I think I'm going to go back to surrounding yourself with the right people. Don't go it alone. There's so much available to help you. So even if you don't hire a business coach, or maybe you can't afford a business coach right away, we have a miracle network called YouTube and Google. You do have to be careful with legalities and things like that when you're going through that, but definitely look on there and find ways that people have done that before. Having a coach can keep you focused. You're the focus coach, you know better than I do, but it can keep you focused and directed, and you don't know what you don't know. That's the most, I won't say the most important thing, but that's really something that having a business coach can help you stay on that platform and in that right direction.
Absolutely. I would like to add accountability too. Because a lot of people have so many plans, they plan really well, they organize really well, but they remain in that phase, they never take the right action. You need to get a coach, a business coach for business, health coach for fitness coach, or whatever you need, depending on your goals. Yeah, accountability is necessary. I say it all the time.
And never stop learning.
That's another one. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, what's the best advice for future entrepreneurs or people who want to go from another level? Let's say you've been in business for 3, 4, 5 years, and now you want to go upper. Upper is a good word? Higher, whatever.
It'll work. Higher. It'll work. Everybody knows what you mean. Again, never stop learning. Follow trends. Find out what's happening so that you don't get caught in having tunnel vision. I think that's what happens with a business owner that, again, has been in for a while and said, well, this is how we've done it. It worked before. Things change and morph monthly, daily, weekly. So you need to stay relevant all the time. You need to have your numbers. That's a really big key, is know what your numbers are all the time. You have to know what your sales are. You have to know what your goals are. You have to know what your overhead is. Always stay focused on what your numbers are, how many people that you're serving, how many people that you're helping, and setting goals. Setting goals is really, really important. If you don't set goals, then you're just driving to Cleveland without a map.
Yeah, I like the numbers thing. I think everybody should know the numbers. And if people are listening, if you don't know your numbers, it's time to learn. Because I get so many new people, especially you, when you coach other people, when they get there, they don't know, how much sale did you do last week? How many presentation did you do? What's your closing rate? They say, I don't know. So you should know that. So thank you for saying this, because that's a really, really, really powerful advice. 100% agree. What's the one thing you do every single day to become a better entrepreneur / better person?
Personal development.
Tell me more. What's that mean? Because other people say personal development. What's that mean? I know what it means, but I want to know your version of it.
So there are so many different aspects of personal development. Reading business books, if you're not good at money, read a money book. If you're not good at, I have a whole library here. Leadership. Yeah. Leadership is an amazing thing to focus on. Make a list of the things that you're not so good at, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You can certainly get better at the things that you're already good at, but just reading things from authors like John Maxwell, Tom Hopkins is one of the best salesmen in the world. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what to say, you don't know how to get across to people, you don't want to sell, then you don't have to sell. You can come across. I don't sell to anybody. I find out what somebody's need is. I ask questions. Once I know what the questions are, I don't come up to them and say, you know what, I sell coffee cups. I think you might need a coffee cup because I know you love coffee.
I got a coffee cup today.
You do have a
friend of mine sent me a coffee cup. You know why I do? Look at this beautiful man. Karen sent that to me this morning just before I got that on the mail. So thank you, Karen, for the gift.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
So happy. Sorry for the... But that was important to say thank you. Hey, let's go back to... actually, I would like to know, what's your best book recommendation for business?
So, I'll tell you what I'm going to recommend is one of my very favorite authors is Harvey Maheux. And when you're in business, the more people that you know, the more people that you can stay in contact with, building your database is super important. And I talk to a lot of businesses, like even restaurants, and restaurants are like, well, how do I keep a database of my customers? Start a birthday club.
Yeah, contest.
Start a birthday club. When people sign up for the birthday club at your restaurant, you give them a half price dinner for their birthday, or you give them a free dessert for their birthday.
Yep.
They're going to want to come back. They're not going to come back by themselves, right? So there are ways to do that. So Harvey Maheux has a book called The Rolodex Network Builder. The interesting thing about that is we don't have Rolodexes anymore, right? We have these things. The sad part of that is I loved going through a Rolodex and popping across somebody I haven't. We can still do the same thing with our phone. Harvey Maheu's Network Builder teaches that when you stay in contact with everybody that you meet, now that sounds nuts, I get it. His dad taught him when he was 18, from now on, son, every person that you meet, I want you to get their contact information and find a way to stay in contact. You have no idea how valuable that has been to me. And if you don't mind me taking just a minute, I want to tell you something amazing from that.
Yes, please go on.
I went to, while I was a travel agent, I went to Greenland for a week, and I met the director of tourism of Greenland back then. That lady moved to Copenhagen, got married, and had a family. I went on a cruise with my husband from Copenhagen to London. I reached out to her. It was so cool because she texted me back, said, I can't wait to see you at the airport. And I went, wait, you're coming to the airport? She said, yeah, we're picking you up. They took us all over Copenhagen. They took us on, we did everything with them. Tivoli Village, the whole deal. 3 weeks before I left for Copenhagen, or left for the cruise, I met a couple at an event that I was at. And I said, they had an accent. I said, where are you from? We're from Sweden. Whereabouts? Stockholm. I said, I'm going to be in Stockholm in 3 weeks.
Nice.
They said, what are you going to do there? I said, well, we wanted to do a culinary tour, but they don't do culinary tours on Sundays, so we don't know yet. They said, why don't we take you on a culinary tour? I said, I've known you for about 7 minutes now. You would do that?
Yeah.
You know, when we pulled into Stockholm, I could see them waving at us from the car.
Very nice.
They took us to the palace. They took us to an amazing lunch, and they gave us a Nordic cookbook as a gift when we left. Wow. So finding ways to stay in touch with people and stay connected in some way, you just never really know the value of those relationships.
Yeah.
It might be business, it might be personal.
What's the name of that book again? I think I read it. I don't know if I have it here.
It's a tiny little book. This particular book is a tiny little book. It's like $4 if you buy it. Used Harvey Mackay, Mackay, called the Rolodex Network Builder.
Yeah.
It even has little Rolodex cards in the back of the book that you'll never use, but the value of what's in the book, it's amazing.
When you mentioned that his dad taught him to do it, I remember I read the books, but now I just connect the points. So yeah, thank you.
That's another amazing
book. To reread it. I'm gonna.
I have another one of his books right here. Dig your well before you're thirsty.
That's good too. Yeah.
That's great for business, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If people dug their well before the pandemic, they'd have been in a lot better shape.
I agree. What's your favorite quote, if you have one?
I would say success is a journey, not a destination. I would say that's
This is a journey, not a
It
destination.
is a journey. You really should enjoy the journey.
I'm glad you said that. Because when we talk about goal setting, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I said, it doesn't matter if it takes you 3 months, 6 months, a year longer if you enjoy the journey. Right? In my opinion. Yep. Anyway, but it's kind of cool that you mentioned that. Goes with what I think. So I'm going to give you a few minutes right now. I would like for this first, how do we contact you? Website, all that beautiful stuff. And I don't know if you have an offer or something for our people. It's your time to.
Absolutely, I do, Denny. So my number is 702-249-8555. You can see it right here on the screen.
I'll put them.
You can right there somewhere. You can text or call me, either one, and set an appointment. Mm-hmm. My website is going through some changes, so within the next probably 2 weeks, it should be back up and running at eastmanexecutivecoaching.com.
Okay.
I will give a 20% discount for anyone who tells me they saw this podcast and give me the promo code of Focus180. I will give them a 20% discount on any of my packages, from a starter business to whatever package that we put together for them.
So if somebody's listening, they want more information right now, they go to your website, they give you a call. Do you do one-on-one too? Do you do free?
Yes,
not free.
absolutely.
You do that?
Yes.
So how long is that? Is that 45 minutes, half an hour? What is it?
So I'll do a 30-minute consultation.
30 minutes?
At no cost for anybody that calls. Sometimes we go a little over. That's fine. I always allot for that. Yeah.
That's cool. So for anybody who's listening, if you're new in business, I recommend you get the business coach from the beginning, because you're going to save so much time, money, and energy. If you're in business right now, if you're having a little bit of trouble, again, I would say, hey, let's go talk to Karen. If you're doing so well, still talk to Karen. She might be able to elevate your business faster, quicker, and further. Oh, that's my saying. But anyway, it's kind of cool. Karen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk for about 30 seconds. I'm going to give you a few other words before I say my last words. Cool. Hey, guys. First of all, thank you very much, Karen. That was really pretty damn good. And I like the fact that you touched the point. And I want to thank you for your time, your knowledge, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who's listening to me right now. So thank you for listening all the way to the end. Thank you for listening to us. If you liked it, if you learned anything, do me a favor. Click that button there, subscribe, comment, and like. Put a comment there, and make sure that you say, hey, Karen, thank you very much. You're awesome. The more people, the bigger we become, the more people we can help. If you're a speaker, if you want to be a speaker on this podcast, if you got something of value to share with us, don't text, email zeelall. I'm going to put it over here somewhere here, zeelall, and her email is, I'll put it there. And what you're going to do, she's going to tell you what is the process and send you bio and everything, all that good stuff, so you can be one of our next guests. Karen, a few last words before I say my last words.
You know what? I'm just grateful to be here. Really grateful. Hope I can help somebody and touch somebody, change their life, change their dynamic, give them some positive influence.
Greatly appreciated too. Again, thank you very much for doing this for us. Guys, I'm going to say the same as I say all the time. Be well and stay focused on what you really, really, really want. See ya.